Hey, and welcome to Lemon Drops, brought to you by the Smokeylemon crew. Well, we're talking branding, marketing, and everything in between. So grab a coffee, sit back, and let's drop in. Kia ora, welcome back to our next instalment of Lemon Drops. We've got the big cheese, Mandy McGregor, in the hot seat again.
Again.
Yes. It's your favourite thing to do, eh?
It is.
Yeah.
We do it.
Well, yeah. And I recently was a guest speaker for Administrative Professionals Day for Admins NZ, talking about resilience and from setbacks to comebacks and the power of resilience. The power of resilience. Kind of a bit tongue-tied. And so Mandy and I were just chatting and we thought actually that could be a bit of a podcast about resilience and setbacks, and because I mean life's full of setbacks, isn't it?
Totally. Like you've had some, recently.
Yeah.
And being a business owner, we're always going through setbacks and then challenges to rise above it.
That's right, yeah.
So, yeah.
But they're all words, like they're words. But when you're actually living it, like how do you find resilience? How do you be resilient?
Exactly, yeah. So how did you, do you want to talk a bit about you first?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure most people know my story now, but I'm 45 and I've been in radio since I was 18 years old. The last 15 years as breakfast host at a local radio station in Taranaki. And it was all I ever wanted to do. It was my dream job, and my role got disestablished for financial reasons. And so I didn't see it coming. Complete blindside. Enter Mandy and Smokeylemon, who were my lifeline. Mandy was like, come work for me. And I guess the resilience came from closing that up and being brave enough to step into a new journey pretty much straight away.
Yeah. What was that like for you?
It was tough. There was a day, I'm not sure if you even know Mands, but there was a day like maybe first weekend where I left the house, my home, in absolute tears, my eyes were just leaking so bad. And it was just from all the change and that I'd gone from the top of my game to a new field, and I just was so emotional. But I just got in the car and I drove here and I'd still tuned up. And, we have our 9 a.m. stand-up team meetings and I'm like, still wiping tears from the corners of my eyes. But you just push through, and you don't know how to do it until you have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before, I'm going to interview you now.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So before this almost sucker punch kind of came, had you ever considered leaving or not doing radio? Had it ever crossed your mind?
Well, because we were on fixed term contracts. So every 2 years we got offered a new contract.
Got it.
And so I figured at some point that new contract might not come.
Yeah.
But I just thought, well, I'll face that day when it happens.
Sure.
So it wasn't something I'd ever kind of had a backup plan for.
Yeah.
And the show I was on, it didn't finish how we thought it would. We thought, because I had a co-host through a team, we thought both of us would be it. So we never realised they'd ditch one of us and keep the other. So, no, and I'm not a huge fan of change. So sometimes the best time to change is when it's forced upon you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But how do you get up in the morning, eh?
I know. How do you keep going?
Yeah.
Bills to pay.
That's always that financial driver, right?
The bills have a lot. We've got a lot to be grateful for with our bills.
Got to get up today. Got a bill to pay.
Mortgage. Yeah. So and it's just showing up for yourself. I think just being brave.
Yeah.
And you don't know your level of bravity. Is that the word? Bravity. You don't know how brave you are.
Yeah, that's it.
Until you're put in the situation. It's like that guy that was rock climbing and got his arm stuck between a rock, and he was there for days and days, and he ended up cutting his arm off.
Oh.
What if you, prior to that, would that even be a conversation?
Yeah, no.
You would consider?
Yeah, absolutely. When you put in those kind of situations, your mind actually changes. I guess if you were hanging with your arm stuck in a rock for a while, you're going to do something drastic.
They should have had a backpack.
But, and also probably feeling like, when you had the rug pulled out from under you, you would probably feel that same kind of thing. Well, and your body and your mind actually will adapt to, I don't know how you feel, but from some of my experiences, you have this resolve where you know the shit's about to hit the fan. And like, what the hell, I haven't been in this situation before. What am I going to do? And then all that self-doubt, I can't do anything.
I'm not worthy.
Yeah,
all those
what
things.
am I going to do?
Yeah.
How are my skills, going to be used? There's no other radio station around. That kind of stuff. And the rejection thing.
Right.
So there's all that comes in, but also it's like, you then have a choice of whether it consumes you,
yes,
or whether you actually. So for me, what happens is I go, I feel sorry for myself for a while, and
which you're allowed to do.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's okay.
And then it's like this. It's almost like this knot comes into my gut, and it's like, right, this is how I dig myself out of this hole. And I've been in a few holes too. It's not, let's be honest. But and then it's like almost you focus on go back to the basics. Like, I need to eat, I need to sleep. I need to put one foot in front of the other. Yes. And what will come from that? Yes, it will come from it. And there could be everyone has different levels of resilience, and it gets built up over time, I think, depending on how much you have to go through. I suppose.
Your experiences build that.
Yeah.
And I think when you're in the situation, you have this adrenaline that wasn't there before that can help drive you.
Yes.
I mean, adrenaline's quite a something to be happy about, really.
Mostly,
yeah. Except for the heart palpitations. Getting too old for that.
Depending on your age.
Yeah.
But speaking of age, because obviously this is just going to go all around houses, but you said you're 45 and stuff, and so how was it for you going, for me, I'm in my 50s. It's not going to, it's not share how old I actually am. But if I had to leave Smokeylemon or whatever, I'd be absolutely terrified because I would be like, what do I do?
Yeah, what else is out there?
I'm too old to be employed now.
Yeah, you're not.
I feel it.
But it's what you go through, right?
Yeah.
And I think you don't actually know what is out there until you make that leap.
That's right.
Because you've never really considered it before, because it's safe and insular in what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then to make that decision, say, for example, it's not going to happen, we're not happening, but if you did close the doors today, what would you do next?
It's not happening.
It is not happening. Don't just take that snippet and replay that on socials.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I feel like, in fact, do you know what I did last night, actually? And maybe I was just preempting this podcast without even knowing, but I was like, what skills have I got as a business owner that if I were to go and be employed by someone, and I actually put it into Gemini, into Google.
To make your own CV out.
No, just to see what answers it came back with. Because it's like, when is someone, I've been doing this for 24 years. So it's like, well, to walk away from something like this, let alone, you had your rug pulled out from under you.
Yeah.
If I had to walk away, or I chose to walk away, I have this massive admiration for people who can actually walk out and leave the position that they're in and trust that something's gonna turn up.
That's just brave, isn't it?
Yeah.
And those people must have more inbuilt resilience than those that have to just dig to find it.
Or they won lotto and they're fine.
Well, there's that. Yeah. Although, there is some people. There is someone in this town I know that won lotto, and they still turn up to work every day.
Yeah.
Why would you?
I work as Mum. I guess I go with you.
Yeah, I go with you.
So,
and it's funny. It's and it's that power of change. What change can bring about. Yeah. And what worlds it can open up. And the serenity prayer, and I know that they use it like addiction meetings or something like that, but it's also just really powerful in itself, not even from the religious element, but if you are religious, that's cool. But to grant me the serenity to accept the things that I can change and the courage to change the things that I cannot. Is that how it goes?
The other way.
Is it the other way around? But anyway, that's okay. Grant me the serenity to change
the things I cannot change,
and the courage to change the things I cannot.
Something like that.
Anyway, the serenity prayer.
That one. We might cut that.
Yeah, well, maybe. Or they may keep it in for a joke.
That's true.
And if you're still watching it right now, they've kept it in. But yeah, I think it's it's leaning into it as well, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, when I got made redundant, so many people said to me, "Oh, another door will open." That was the thing everyone said.
Yes.
And the Smokeylemon door opened, and you only need one door to open.
Yeah.
To get you onto the next part.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But your skills are totally transferable. So, you know, when you put that post up, I was like, we need content for clients. We could
do
I'd already had in my mind we were going to do a podcast because we've got Ben, you know, and stuff. And so
Ben's behind the camera. He's our cameraman. I can't see you.
He's grinning away. He's not grimacing. And, you know, and I was like, 2 and 2, just put it all together. And like I didn't have any other than those two kind of moments, and I just trusted my gut. I was like, oh well, let's just see what happens and see what we can make work. Which was
what was that? It was the end of October. Still going.
Crikey. High five.
Yeah.
Okay.
Been a couple of short weeks. Yeah. But that was also you, like you were creating some change with just leaning into it, right? To see what would happen.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think, you know, again, going back to the resilience thing around, there is constant change at the moment in business, and man, it does my head in. It honestly does. And it's like, what do we have to adapt to next? But if you can actually facilitate some change yourself, you're actually in a bit more control. Yeah. So you go, right, this is going to happen or this isn't going to happen. And then, you know, you have a little bit more, I guess, power to manage the situations as well. Yeah. Whereas, if you don't, if it's all taken out of your hands, you're kind of like... It's
pretty rough. And because, you know, like there's a lot of people in our community and in New Zealand and the world that have faced redundancies over the last bit, you know, with the financial crisis and a lot of those corporate people that were always well looked after now finding themselves without a job. Yeah. And it's that whole, you could reapply, but then you go through your own personal, like, won't a younger person get it? And you doubt yourself, right?
Yes. Yeah. There's a lot of, and also what I have noticed at my age is a lot of other people's personal lives have changed at this time as well. And so that also then creates another level of resilience that you've got to kind of hold on to.
Absolutely.
To be able to go through with that. Plus, you know, the job and economic situation that you're going through. And so how do people, and some people just don't get up and totally get that.
Because it can wear you down, you know, and if you need a couple of duvet days to get through it,
bring it on.
I am all for duvet days. Yeah,
absolutely. Whatever you need to do to get through. Right?
Absolutely,
and also having the community, like a community, your team around you and stuff. So you would have had a big, or you do, I know this. You have a big community, a big Anna community. It's great.
I'm so humbled by that, and it's kind of always been there, but I thought it was because I was Anna from the radio. And I kind of thought, well, once I'm not Anna from the radio, no one will really care anymore. But it's like even more so. Like, you know, I remember someone saying your community will look after you, and I didn't really know what that looked like. But I'm like, and I'm a guest speaker, I'm doing MC roles. I mean, I've got that job with Smokeylemon. And so I feel like there is value to me beyond the mic. But I had to live that to believe that.
True. Yeah. It's a big journey.
She's a big journey. And like what you're touching on before, like some people of our age, you know, children are starting to grow up and leave home and relationships can come to an end. So many life things, you know, resilience is tested on.
Do you think also we get a bit less tolerant as we get older? And it's like, it's like, actually, I'm done with this. I wish I could be like that. So
our tolerance meter. Well, I read a saying the other day where I used to sneak out of my window to go to parties. Now I sneak out of parties to go home.
That's so true. It's a big time yet. It's 7 o'clock.
We get tired. Yeah, I'm all for an early start. Yeah. But I think, resilience it's a buzzword. Like back in 2000s, unprecedented was the buzzword.
Yes.
But it's you don't really know your resilience until it's tested.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and so doing the basics as well. Like if there's anything, I think there's a lot of room for people to back themselves more.
Yes. We're our own biggest self-doubters.
Totally. Yeah. Like I say, I couldn't walk out of here and go and find a job. I'd be bloody petrified.
There's be someone watching this right now going, shivers, I'll take you.
I'd be like, no, not on you. You're crazy.
But also, once again, for the record, Smokeylemon is good. We are not shutting down.
Just giving
as an example.
Context of that. And and I was thinking about like, what would life be like without Smokeylemon,
Does that excite you, thinking of what life would be like without running a business?
No. Yes and no.
Yeah.
Like, it depends on the day, to be fair.
Sure.
Because, some days you have, some days are rough. And some days are
you've got invoices and wages and, what you have to troll through. But today's a good day.
Managing people.
Managing egos. Managing your talent.
No, it is a roller coaster, and so some days you just don't want to. Why am I even doing this?
So on those days, how are you kind to yourself?
I go back to my basics of I have to get out of bed because other people are relying on me.
True.
And I have to put one foot in front of the other, and I have to eat, and I literally strip it right back to just get through the basics. Sleep is hugely important.
It's when your body heals the most.
That's right. So if I need to go and have a sleep, if I need to have a sleep at 10 o'clock in the morning, but actually there have been times when I've had a little nap in here, I'm not going to lie.
In this podcast room?
Not in this podcast room.
Roll the cameras, Ben!
But, like taking 5 minutes out to just get your head right.
Back in the game.
And also being grateful for what you have got as well. Like sometimes I kick myself because I'm like, I'm so down, this is so shit, some days. And I actually look at what you've got.
Yeah.
So
think about it, you've got a great business, you've got a loving wife, you've got a fantastic home, and so those basic things you can remember to be grateful for, eh?
Yes, absolutely. And then you get up and you go, I've got to pay the mortgage.
And it comes back to the mortgage again. Yeah.
But no, seriously, it's there is it's a big roller coaster, and there have been times where we've been really close to shutting the doors. I'm not gonna lie, it's been rough, but we're not dissimilar to any other business.
Absolutely. Other businesses must go through the same sort of patterns.
Yeah. And so it's like, well, you've got a decision to make, and every day you have a choice. And so the choices that you make is really going to determine how strong or whether you get through or you don't.
That's right.
That's resilience.
Right? Yeah, it is resilience. I had a manager once that when I used to stress out about all the stuff I had to do, and he'd say to me, Anna, this is Richard Williams, R.I.P. Richard Williams. He goes, Anna, how do you eat an elephant? And I'm like 22 years old, I don't care. It's like one bite at a time.
Absolutely.
And it's so true. Yeah.
Absolutely is. Yep. Break it down and you get through.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Yeah, so that's a little corridor on resilience, the power of resilience.
Yes.
And we all have resilience.
We do.
And you won't really know how resilient you are until it's tested.
Absolutely. And you can strengthen your resilience and be okay. And as long as people be okay with yourself.
Yes.
Like you say, lean into it and trust, things generally turn out the way, they may not turn out the way you actually expected.
That's right. Yep. Might not be the path you predicted.
But something will happen if you keep sticking with it.
That's right. It has to.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds a bit airy-fairy, but the universe will provide.
Oh, it will.
It does.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Eventually.
Yes. And that's it. Okay, it's our take.
All right. That is our that was kind of, I think we'd describe that as a bit of an open potty.
Yeah, very open.
You know, a little chatty chat.
Yeah.
Once more for the record, Smokeylemon not shutting down.
No.
We are good. We are rocking. We are podcasting.
Yeah. No, that's all good.
Well, I appreciate your insights, man.
Thanks. And yours, because like two different sides of the story.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right.
So, no, it's really interesting and thought provoking.
Yes. Hope you enjoyed it.
Cool.
Till next time.
Laters.
Ka kite ano.
Bye.